Hey there. Today, I want to talk about something that a lot of people dream about, living off dividends. That means your investments are paying you enough money regularly so you can cover your living expenses without having to work. But a big question is, what's the lowest amount of money you actually need invested to make this happen? Let's break it down. Before we get started, just a quick reminder, this is not financial advice. Always do your own research and consider talking to a professional before making any investment decisions. First, dividends are basically payments you get from companies you own stock in. When a company earns profits, sometimes they share part of those profits with their shareholders. That's what dividends are, a steady, passive income stream from your investments. The idea of living off dividends sounds amazing, right? Getting paid just for owning pieces of companies. But how much money do you actually need invested to make that income enough to live on? The answer depends mainly on two things: how much money you spend in a year, and how much your investments pay you in dividends, which is called the dividend yield. Let's say your annual expenses, rent, food, transportation, entertainment, everything, add up to $25,000. That's not a huge budget, but it's realistic for many people living modestly. Now, if your investments pay you an average dividend yield of 4%, which is roughly what many stable dividend stocks pay, then here's how you calculate the amount you need to invest. You take your annual expenses, $25,000, and divide that by your dividend yield expressed as a decimal, 0.04 in this case. So $25,000 divided by 0.04 equals $625,000. This means you'd need about $625,000 invested to generate enough dividend income to cover $25,000 in expenses. This is the lowest basic amount, assuming your dividends remain steady, you don't sell any investments, and your expenses don't change. It's a simple, straightforward calculation, but it gives you a clear idea of what you're aiming for. Now, of course, many people want to lower that amount. Maybe you don't want to save over $500,000 before you can stop working. That's understandable. There are ways to reduce that number, but each comes with its own trade-offs. One way is to lower your living expenses. If you can live on $20,000 a year instead of $25,000, your target investment drops to $500,000 at a 4% yield. The less you spend, the less money you need invested. Simple as that. Another way is to look for higher dividend yields. Some stocks or funds pay 5% or even 6%, but you have to be careful. Higher yield often means higher risk. Those companies might not sustain those dividends, or the stock price might drop. So chasing higher yields without doing your homework can backfire. You can also reinvest dividends early on to grow your portfolio faster. This means instead of spending those dividends right away, you buy more shares with them, which over time increases your dividend income. The magic of compounding can make a huge difference if you start young and stay consistent. Taxes also play a role. Depending on where you live, dividends might be taxed differently. Some accounts or countries offer tax advantages that let you keep more of your dividend income, effectively lowering the amount you need to invest. It's worth researching or consulting with a tax professional about this. One thing to keep in mind is inflation. Your expenses will likely increase over time, so the amount you need to live off dividends today might not be enough in 10 or 20 years. It's smart to factor that in and aim for a little buffer. All in all, the takeaway is that the lowest amount you need to live off dividends isn't some fixed number. It depends on your lifestyle, your investment choices, and how you plan your finances. But a good ballpark figure is your annual expenses divided by your dividend yield. If you're serious about making this happen, start by tracking your expenses carefully. Know exactly how much you spend every month and every year. Then, look for reliable dividend investments with steady payouts. From there, build up your portfolio and keep reinvesting those dividends until your passive income covers your costs. It won't happen overnight, and it requires discipline, but living off dividends is totally possible with a clear plan and patience. Thanks for listening. If you want me to share specific dividend investing strategies or ways to optimize your portfolio for income, just let me know. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips on financial freedom and passive income. See you next time.